Bum-ba-da-dum. Howdy, y'all. Banjo Ben here today with a big fat guitar lesson. We're going to get you picking more. I've got a series of lessons on my site called Pick-a-Lick Lessons, and Pick-a-Lick Lessons are very unique. It's where we take a very famous lick that has its identity on that particular instrument, so whether it be banjo, guitar, mandolin, we learn it, and then I teach you a ton of different ways to use it, including other variations. So today we're going to learn 10 variations of this particular lick. Now, I've taught a couple of these on guitar so far. We've learned the G run and a bunch of variations of that. And then we had the pick-a-lick lesson with the second most important guitar lick, according to me. And today we're going to learn one that I call the third most important guitar lick because it really begins to complete your flat-picking, bluesy sounding type playing. That's one version, but when you put it all together with first, second, and third, it sounds like this. Pretty cool, huh? So we're going to take that lick. We're going to learn lots of variations. Okay, we're going to wear it out, but also I'm going to show you how to use it in various circumstances, okay? If you're watching this lesson somewhere else besides the website, I would love to have you on board. At banjobenclark.com, you can become a Gold Pick member, access this full lesson, download the tabs. And you know, I have like over 800 lessons now over there for banjo, mandolin, guitar. I'd be honored to have you on board. Okay, let's jump into this third most important guitar lick. Talk a little bit about it, and then I'll show you 10 different ways to play it. Literally. Y'all, this is one of the most useful licks that you're going to learn on guitar. I promise you that. And I've got a systematic way of teaching it to you so that you understand actually what the lick is. That way, you're able to actually take it and put it into your playing in different circumstances versus just saying, you know, here's some tab, learn how to play it like this. Let's talk about what the lick actually is. And what I want to do is boil it all the way down to what I'll just call the actual notes or the skeletal notes. Now, this isn't going to look exactly like it will whenever we begin playing it, but I think it's a good ear training device. So try to learn these notes with me just by watching and listening. We're going to start on our third fret of the B string and walk down 3, 2, 1. Can you do that with me? Now, it's very important that we keep our pick strokes together. So down, up, down. After that, I want you to reach down and grab the third fret of your G string with an upstroke. Let's play all 4 of those together. Cool. Now, our next 2 notes are just simply the open second and third strings. But keep your pick strokes right. Down, up, putting all those together. We just got a couple more notes. Drop down to your D string and play the second fret. And then play open D. And then back to your G string. Those are the last 3 notes. Put all that together. I'll play it slowly a few times. You try to play along with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, I really want you to make sure that you get your pick strokes right because it's going to be important when we start doing slides and hammer-ons. So I would recommend you just pause in this lesson until you can play that at a decent speed. Okay, so now that we've learned that, we'll go ahead and pull the tab up for that and the more real-life version of how to play it. Now, the reason why I taught you the actual notes first was because when you play this in real life, we're going to do pull-offs and slides. Okay, and it's important that we get our pick strokes right. So if you've learned the actual notes, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, that's going to help us here because we're going to also start with a downstroke. And then when we do our pull-off from 2 to 1, that pull-off is going to take the place of that second downstroke. Okay, and then we'll come up with an upstroke. And instead of playing an open B string, we're going to slide up to that 4th fret. Same note as this. So check out those pick strokes beneath the notes. And the reason why I'm spending so much time on this, some of you are like, You talk too much. Y'all, I have a lot of students all over the world. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands of them play and send me videos and in person. And I can't tell you how many mistakes that I see. They're holding people back in their playing because they don't understand the fundamentals. And one of those fundamentals is having a grip on your pick strokes. I'm not saying that it's a rule that always has to be followed. There's times that we're going to break it, and there's some great players that break it more than others. But pay attention to your pick strokes. So what I'd like for you to be able to do before you move on is to play it, what you see there first in the tab with the actual notes, playing all the individual notes, and then be able to play it the real life version, keeping your pick strokes correct. And if you do those back to back, you'll hear that they're the same exact notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me talk to you a little bit about these pull-offs and slides that I often refer to as ornaments. When you do that pull-off from 2 to 1, you can do that pulling off. Some people call it a push-off, where your middle finger comes toward the ceiling. That's fine. Some people do more of a pull-off down toward the floor. It's whatever one you want to do. In this instance, I like to do a push-off where my middle finger's coming up because that's where my hand is headed next. So it puts my ring finger right in position to grab that 3rd fret to get that slide, because we got to have efficiency to play these licks fast. Now when I do that pull off down here, I'm doing an actual pull off. 2nd fret to open. Very cool. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to play the lick and you're going to play rhythm for me, and then you play the lick and I'll play rhythm for you. 1, 2, ready, go. Now I'll play the second one. Now it's your turn. Play the actual notes. Now play the real life. My turn. Very good. Okay, and you can practice again and again with me. All right, so where does this lick come from? If you don't know already, you've heard, of course, Tony Rice play this and many other variations many times, as well as Clarence White, Dan Crary. A lot of your really first-generation flat pickers, first and second-generation flat pickers, began incorporating these types of licks all over their playing, using it all in all different sorts of situations on different chords. We'll get into that later about how to apply it to different chords and different timings. But for now, let's jump to another version of this that will get us moving more between the strings. I know a lot of you are going to ask, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what kind of guitar this is. This is a Santa Cruz guitar, but not just any Santa Cruz. This is their D model, particularly their Tony Rice signature model. So you'll notice it's got the blank fretboard, it's got the enlarged sound hole and beyond. It really is a monster. I've got these for sale over at Banjo General Store, as well as lots of other Santa Cruz, Collings, Gallagher, tons of great guitars over there, American made and beyond. And I have a demo already published for this particular guitar, so you can go check it out, and maybe it could be yours. See you at Banjo General Store. Hey, y'all, we're going to learn literally 10 different variations of this lick. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about where the lick came from. You've heard people play that kind of stuff all the time, haven't you? Like, I mean, it's used all the time, and tons of different variations, which we'll talk about. But if you listen to Tony Rice, if you listen to Clarence White, Dan Crary, you're going to hear this kind of playing, right? And this is, I think, whenever lead guitar, of course, Doc was always awesome, but this is where lead guitar really started to flex. And so whenever you play licks like this, that's when your flat picking starts having a certain spice to it, certain ricey spice that people love. And I love it too, right? But if we're going to learn all these variations, I think better than just saying, hey, here's the tab, here's how you play them, it's good to understand where the lick actually comes from. to understand the theory behind it. Yes, it's a little bit more teaching, but are you lazy? I hope not. And then once you understand that, then you can understand how to most use it to your advantage, right? Because I've got the tabs here. I'll teach you how to play all these. But how about we understand where it comes from? Okay, so before we pull up any tab, why don't you do a little ear training exercise with me and just try to learn the basic notes of the lick by ear and by watching me, okay? Now, the fingerings of this are going to be a little different than what we're going to do in real life most of the time. But let's work on our ears. First thing I want you to do, I'm going to play you 4 notes, so you play them back to me. Starting on the 3rd fret, I'm going to walk right down. Watch. Can you do that? 3, 2, 1, 3. Now, pay attention to your pick strokes. Very important. I won't beat you over the head, but it's so important. Now, your next 2 notes are 2 open strings, B and G. Put that together. And then to finish it out, go down to 2nd fret on the D string, open D, open G. Okay, total of 9 notes there. Sounds like this. Play it with me. Try it. Ready, go. Now, a couple things I want you to keep in mind. One is the pick strokes. I encourage you to play it just like I did so that you can get your pick strokes down. Make sure that you're doing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, and even though we're switching strings, you're keeping that pattern going. Because when we throw these hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides and such in, those are going to take the place of pick strokes, but you don't need to skip, get off kilter on those pick strokes because it can slow you down as you try to grow and get faster. Okay, if you've got that down, then let's talk about a more real-life version to play it, okay? Way to play it. And this is the same exact notes, but watch how I'll play this. The first way. Real life. Okay, so you saw a series of pull-offs, a slide in there. Now we can go ahead and pull the tab up, and I want you to see the comparison there. So you saw that the actual notes have pick strokes beneath each one of the notes. And now we're going to substitute in some pull-off slides, and those are going to take the place of those pick strokes. That's why we have, in measure 3, we got 2 ups in a row. We got 2 downs in a row, okay? Because we're still keeping that movement going with our pick hand. We're still keeping that rhythm, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But if a pull-off happens, that takes the place of the pick stroke that would have played that note. So we've got this great rhythm going in our right hand. It's not like we have to make those shadow pick strokes, but there is a rhythm that keeps going down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's so important whenever you're trying to get the groove of these licks and have them sound like other folks that you want to sound like or just sound really strong. Now, notably, Tony Rice broke that rule all the time, but he's Tony, you're not. And after experience with thousands of students all over the world, I see their pick strokes often be the barrier to keep them from getting fast and clean and smooth. Okay, very good. Hopefully you grow one day to be cleaner than I am. Okay, so where are we going to use these? Before we move on to all the different variations, where's this going to be used? Well, this is a perfect lick to use in your series of flatpicking. Okay, you saw lots of different versions in there. But that's good bluesy flat picking, right? So it's going to be primarily used over G chord. Okay? However, it works great over other chords too, especially if you're going really fast. So if you're going really fast, even over a C chord, it would sound okay. Okay? Now it does have some kind of stinker notes in there for a C chord, a C scale, but if it's going fast, it still sounds good. It sounds really at home over a D chord, especially if you modify the last 2 notes. Instead of going 2 open, we do a 3 to 4. Doesn't that sound nice? Very cool. It sounds great over E minor. So when you get into faster flat picking, these types of licks fit in all kinds of different places. In fact, sometimes you don't even ask the question of whether this lick will fit over a chord. You just throw it in there, and how it sits is how it sits and creates the color that it does. And a lot of times that's really good. And if it's not, just play it again when the chord changes, and you'll redeem yourself, okay? So before we move on to the all the different variations, because I've got a bunch more, I want you to just take the time to be able to play back and forth the actual notes and the real life version. Try trading off with me a little bit. Will you play rhythm for me? Just play me a G chord, okay? About this speed. 1, 2, ready, go. Now I'll play the real life version. Now you play both of those. My turn. You know, one thing I didn't talk about was the direction of the pull-offs. I like to do that 2-to-1 pull-off with my middle finger going up, because that naturally puts my ring finger where it needs to be. See how it lays my ring finger right on top of that 3rd fret? So if I were to pull off going down, it pulls my ring finger down here. So it's just more movement to get up, and you need to be efficient whenever you're playing really fast. Right? And then when we do the pull off down here, I will generally pull off going down towards the floor. So I'm doing pull offs in 2 different directions. And that's just what I've learned to do over time. You might do it different, and that's okay. All right, let's learn a few more variations. There are tons of variations to this lick. There's variations that change strings, change notes, change timing. So I'm just going to show you some of my favorites, and I'm going to kind of build on those. And the first one that I want to show you is one called back and forth. And that's where we just get to going back and forth on the G and B strings. Because the way that we learned it, what do? We kept traveling down the guitar. We went from 2nd string, 3rd string, down to 4th. We did end back on the 3rd string. But there's going to be a whole lot of times where we're going back and forth between our B and G strings, 2nd, 3rd. And most of the time we do that is with a downstroke on the B and an upstroke on the G, which if you've never done that is a little difficult, but you can start practicing. And one great little version of this lick to practice that is one that I call back and forth. So let's put our index finger on the 1st fret, our ring finger on the 3rd fret, and we're going to play those back and forth and not pick them up. Let's try it. Oh, this is the heart of so many of these great licks, because then we start adding in pull-offs like, oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Calm down, puppy. All right. And in this back and forth lick, we're just going to finish it out like we did in the real life version. So it looks like this. Let's try it. Now, one thing that I want to challenge you to do is keep those notes ringing out. You'll notice that you can hear both of these notes ringing. Hear that? It's not muffled like. All right? Because that dissonance that we're creating is part of the sound. And when we slide up to that 4th fret, that like solves the tension that we've created. Oh, goodness. Okay, so now that we're there, let's add another little variation. And what you'll notice between back and forth and then this one that we call add pull-off is that it does change the timing of the lick. We push and pull the notes a little bit in the measure. So now for the first note, we're going to start on our 2nd fret. We haven't done that yet. That's why it's a variation. And we're going to start pulling off and then go into that back and forth. Can you just practice doing that? And remember, we want to try to maintain our note clarity. Okay, now that's changing it's messing with some of the timing. It's messing with where the notes fell before. That's okay. We still need to keep our pick strokes in mind, though, right? So we start with the downstroke. So the way that this lick sounds is this. I love this. Now, it has a completely different attitude than the other ones, because this one on the downbeat of the lick at the very top starts on a note that's not in the G chord or even in the G scale. It's that flat 5. So it creates some tension right off the bat. It's a much more aggressive lick, even though we've already played that. So I'll play the real life version and this one back to back, and I just want you to hear 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, real life. Now this one. Real life. So there's something about starting the lick on that second fret that automatically makes it more aggressive, more pointed, okay? So cool. Okay, let's try playing the back and forth in the add pull-off version back to back. I'll play rhythm for you, you play it for me. So give me a G chord, little rhythm. 1, 2, ready, go. Now you try. Now give me some rhythm. That pull off. You try. I'll try again. Okay, now that may be a little fast for you right now. That's okay. You can slow the video down too. All right, let me give you one more, and then we've got a bunch more after that. But this one is actually going to extend beyond the 2 measures that we've looked at so far. And it's still got the basis around that first version that I taught you. What we're going to do, though, is start the lick a little early. That's why I call it the early start. And we're going to just we're going to have to fill up the rest of the measure because we are starting early. So the way that this one sounds is like this. You'd be like, man, that sounded just like your last one. No, it has extra notes. Compare that. Compare this early start version to what we saw with the adding pull-off one last time. And what we see the extra note is that pull-off comes back. What you'll also notice that I didn't point out in the last one is that when we went down to the D string, we started using the 3rd fret instead of the 2nd fret. That's just another option. You can interchange those notes a lot, okay? Just like when you're doing a G run, you could put in the 3rd fret. When we did our second most important guitar lick, we could do it with the 3rd fret. Okay, so I love that substitution there, and we can do it on this one. You could play, going back to the real life version, with the 2nd fret or the 3rd fret. Just gives a little bit more bluesy sound. So this early start version, we're going to have to start with an upstroke. Man, these are pick stroke exercises, aren't they? And the way that the timing is going to work on that, I'll give us a little bit of rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so why do we have this variation? Well, because we may not just want to wait until the downbeat, and it just throws in some syncopation that makes it sound a little bit more squirrely in a good way, right? So if I was going to play like a G run and then go into this lick, I might not have a bunch of stuff filling in the measures between these, so I can come in on this lick a little bit early. I can do something like this. That's pretty cool. That's putting together all 3 of those licks. That wasn't exactly right, but you get the point, right? So it's good practice to be able to start this lick a little bit early. You're going to be doing that a lot. And it helps you get used to playing the lick a little early, because there's going to be times where you just start this lick in the middle of the measure. And I don't want you trapped. I don't want you trapped, pulling a Jim Pankey here. I don't want you trapped to thinking, oh no, I started this lick too early. What am I going to do now? You're not in trouble. Just keep playing the lick. Keep playing it and then play it again when you get done with that and see where you end up. It's no big deal. Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, this is where I say goodbye. And I finished this lesson, the second half of it, over at banjobenclark.com. For my Gold Pick members, you can download the tabs there too. Just go to joinbanjoben.com to learn more. For you Gold Pick members, just click on the next video segment, and we're going to learn 1, 2, 3, 5 more versions of this great lick.